Thank you for tuning in. It is the 124th edition of the MMA Podcast, April 1st. It's not an April Fool's. We are here live, and we got a lot to break down. Last week, we didn't have a UFC card, but we had a big Bellator card, a World Series of Fighting card. We're going to briefly touch on those two things. We're also going to talk about the finale of this whirlwind tour, the Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor, UFC 189 World Tour. It ended in Dublin, Ireland, with Conor McGregor snatching the belt from the champ. We'll talk about that. Of course, this Saturday, there's a fight night card, UFC Fight Night Fairfax, Mendez versus Lamas, Masvidal, Iaquinta. We'll break that down. A few fight announcements to break down. I'm ready to do it. Thank you for tuning in. Let's do this shit.
You're listening to the MMA Podcast.
That's right. It is the MMA Podcast. Thank you for tuning in. It's the usual suspects, myself and Ramses tonight. Ramses, how are you doing, buddy? What do you got to say to the people?
I'm doing great, Jake from the MMA Podcast. Thank you for having me on. I am the word on the street. I am the Aunt Jimmy Show on Twitter, and tonight is a special episode. I have decided that I will be giving away on this very show to the 100th caller. I will be giving away free tickets to UFC 186, and guess what? Not only do you get 2 VIP tickets, ringside, cage side, to UFC 186, you also get to corner Quentin Rampage Jackson, and you get to have a shot of whiskey with Lorenzo Fertitta, as long as you provide a valid driver's license showing that you are of legal age. And that's going down here. If you listen to the episode in its entirety, we're going to be dropping clues like riddles. And if you solve it all, right, you'll win the tickets. And you got to be the 100th caller. Word on the street.
In order to enter that's right. You've either got to call and be the 100th caller, or tweet me or Ramses. Ramses is at the Aunt Jimmy Show. I'm the MMA Podcast, and use the hashtag UFC 186 giveaway, and that'll put yourself in the giveaway. Where man, this is the whole fucking deal. You're cornering Rampage. You're backstage. I hope most of our listeners are of age, and if you are, you get to have a shot with one of the most influential men in the sport, Lorenzo Fertitta, and yeah, we'll try and do more of these giveaways. Be loyal to our fans.
The phones are already lighting up.
Yeah, shit. We'll take your calls toward the back end of the episode, but Jesus Christ, I've already turned down like 7 calls on Skype. Just tweet me or Ramses, use the hashtag UFC 186 giveaway. To follow us, go on themmapodcast.com. Like I said, Twitter, the MMA Podcast. If you are listening live right now, you want to call in, join the chat, you either can tweet us or call in. The phone number is 213-457-3380, or you can Skype us at the MMA Podcast. Man, we have a lot to break down, but first and foremost, it's April Fool's Day. Anything fun go down on your Fool's Day? Did anyone get you?
I was gotten just one time today, and I even did tweet about it. I actually bought the Misha Tate being out with an injury one. That one, it caught me by surprise because I'd just woken up. You know, you're just checking the Twitter, and you're not really remembering the day, even though I knew like to look out for it. But that one got me. So I thought that fight was over, and plus it's like nothing that you'd really care about. So whoever trolled that one, I guess it was Misha. That was a pretty good troll. But I don't think she knew that it would work because of why it worked. But
yeah, Misha versus I getting canceled would, definitely be shitty. But at the same time, I think that's like 40 fights down the list of fights that I don't want to see canceled. I only got once, and I was vigilant all fucking day. I woke up, and one of the first thoughts is, all right, dude, on Reddit, on mixedmartialarts.com, all over the place, you've got to be vigilant as fuck. You cannot give in to any stories. And I had a friend send me a Facebook message saying, hey man, there's something I've really wanted to speak to you about for a while. And my sirens were going off. I swear to God, I was like, okay, is he trying to get me? And he's like, yeah, I've been trying to talk to you for a little while, just you haven't been around. And that's where he fucking got me, because the last 2 times homie reached out, I either just wasn't on Facebook and didn't respond, or the most recent time, which only was a few nights ago, it's like 3 a.m. and he's like, hey, what's up, dude? And I'm like, bro, I would love to talk and chat on Facebook and all that, but I'm literally going to bed like right now. And he's like, oh all right, that's cool. So dude's like, yeah, we've not really talked much lately and all of that. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I have stage 4 cirrhosis, and I'm probably gonna die in 3 to 6 months. And this is a good friend of mine, and I'm just like, no,
I'm gonna
like,
die, Frank.
my dude, It went so far. Literally, me and him are talking about him getting a liver transplant, and he's like, it would cost me $150,000, and usually the lists are reserved for young children and old people, so I'm sort of shit out of luck. Bro, I'm telling you now, I was legitimately about to fucking cry. I hands on my fucking head, like, oh my God, what the fuck? And then he goes, but yeah, there's just one thing, I would really like you to say at my funeral. And at that point, I slid my chair out, and I was like, God damn it, he got me. And you know him as the original host of this show, Chris Lowe, that fucking son of a bitch, goes, I want you to tell everyone at my funeral, April Fool's Day, bitch. And I was just like, fuck, you got me.
I can't believe you got you, man.
And I told him, like, dude, anyone else I would be mad at for, like, making me get close to crying because I thought they're gonna die. But Chris, I should have known better, because I had gotten him just a little bit before that with a Stone Cold Rick Roll video, which there is a video out there of Stone Cold Steve Austin dancing to the Rick Roll song, and it's the best thing you can send when you're trolling someone. So he got me back. He won April Fools, but aside from that, it was a pretty calm April Fool's Day.
Damn,
Dude, I swear to God, I'm like, Chris, no, and that motherfucker got me. But
he tombstoned you, man.
Dude.
I honestly, I thought he was already dead, so that's good to know.
Chris, if you are listening, which I know you are, we need you back here in the third seat, you motherfucker. But let's lead off like we usually do, talking about last weekend in MMA. 2014, 2015. There haven't been many weekends without a UFC card. The UFC has really expanded, especially in 2014, going from 20-something shows, maybe low 30-something shows, to literally like high 40s, low 50s. They're doing an event 3 or 4 times a month, just about every single weekend. Last weekend we didn't have a UFC card, but we had a Bellator card and a World Series of Fighting card. We'll do it chronologically, start with a Bellator card that went down Friday. I really only want to talk about the main event, which featured Marcus Galvao and Joe Warren. Warren being tapped out, I think, with like 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in the second round. It was a fight I expected Warren to look a lot better in. I mean, we had seen Warren lose to Pat Curran, and like I said last week, I thought when Joe Warren got TKO'd, maybe one of the most brutal TKOs I had ever seen. The ref had 20 opportunities to step in and stop it, and he didn't step in and stop it until Warren had just taken this monumental beating. I thought his career was unquestionably over, and you got to give it to Joe Warren for coming back after that and not losing for 6 fights. This past Friday was actually his first loss since getting TKO'd by Pat Curran. Didn't come out nearly as hot as I expected to, and in the second round gets tapped. And I guess what you can call a controversial tap, Warren yelled out, and the ref stopped it, which is the correct call. Yelling out is a verbal tap, and Big John was in the right to stop the fight. What did you think about this Bellator main event, Warren versus Galvao? I know as our resident MMA conspiracy theorist, you might have thought that there was a little shadiness that went down with this tap.
Yeah, well, you actually, even though I did see it, like...
Yeah, I tweeted, like, dude, I am the last one to call out works and call out conspiracies, but it was sort of funny to see Marcus Galvao crank it and then, like, sort of lean forward a bit and say something to Joe Warren, which I guess he was telling him that, hey, dude, tap now or I'm going to snap it. A lot of my MMA conspiracy theorist friends said that it was probably Marcus Galvao giving him the signal, which, man, if it was the signal and if it was a work, it would have been the most obvious signal in the history of the sport. But, yeah, there definitely was a moment, maybe 1 or 2 seconds before Warren yells out, where Galvao sort of turns toward Warren and says something that wasn't picked up by the mics.
Yeah, isn't it convenient how anything that looks possibly like a work is always conveniently defended and displayed, and like they actually, it's explained away like conveniently by the people that doubt the conspiracy theorists. How about that? I'm turning the tables on those bastards. How about that? All right, they always have a convenient explanation, just like the conspiracy theorists do. But yeah, this one, shit, man, you saw it. It looks funny, and I mean, if it looks, smells, quacks like a work, it's probably a fucking work. And wasn't this like either the main event or like a championship or some shit like that? That always casts more suspicion down on it. Honestly, let's assume this guy was yelling out in pain. He verbally submitted. That rule, which I agree with, it's like if you don't want to go out that way, people, you have to mentally train yourself and condition yourself to change your reaction to pain from screaming to maybe perhaps like saying something, like have a phrase ready. That way you're saying something instead of screaming. You know what I mean? Like he's torquing up your knee, Paul Harris is
cattywampus.
Exactly, man. Something nuts. Something to where like they would
sweet and sour sauce.
Right, to like where like the ref would look like a fool.
I was like, that's not a tap, I guess. He just yelled sweet and sour sauce. He's not screaming.
Yep. Just something nuts, man. You could go crazy, but don't yell out in just blind pain. That's especially if your profession, what you choose to do for a living is fight other people. It's the pain business, like they say. So you have to trick yourself. And that reminds me, our friend Super Callow was actually he was tragically killed.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, it was a horrible just freak accident. The meth lab exploded. He was killed, instantly 3 days later. It took him a while to die from his injuries. He had actually this rare condition to where like his nerves were like 100 times more sensitive than the average humans. So he was like 100 times more sensitive to pain. And they tell me he suffered for the entire 3 days until he passed away this morning. So prayers to his family, and he'll be buried in the mask.
Super Kahlo. Yeah.
God bless him.
God bless you, Super. But I wanted to talk to Warren after the fight. A lot of folks said that it was just really terrible sportsmanship. He didn't really tip his hat to Galvao, who won. He sort of kind of dragged his heels there, which I will forgive him in that he did make a statement either later that night or the next day saying, "Yeah, I'm sorry. I acted like an ass. Just I was really upset that I lost." Which, I mean, you've got to feel for Warren being 38. A loss now is really not good for his career because he's definitely toward the latter stages of that career.
Look, man,
what'd you think of that?
I can't pretend like I care about Bellator. I can't, man. Not until they if they win the lawsuit and get Rampage back, then we're talking. Right? If they give Tito, if they give Tito his next Tito shot, then I'll tune in for that. But yeah, what I really just wanted to ask you about real quick, since I haven't talked to you since then, real quick, and I'm sorry, but I have to know if you watched WrestleMania and what you thought, man.
I did. I did. I didn't really follow it the month beforehand because I had been trying to follow and it was really lame. But I watched it and it was entertaining as fuck. I enjoyed the shit out of that show. The Ronda bit was fun. She and The Rock, I guess, were plugging Furious 7. The whole Seth Rollins thing was really fun. I definitely enjoyed the show. Did you?
Yes, but once again, there's a little bit of hokiness. I haven't even. I guess I should have checked. Is the Ronda Rousey thing going to be a topic in this upcoming, or can we talk about it now?
No, yeah. Let's chat now. From what I've heard, it's going to be a one-off thing, and Dana White didn't even know about it. Which Dana not knowing about it is so unbelievable. I don't know if I even buy it, but
what was your honest reaction?
Heard,
I don't believe that Dana White was up at 3 a.m. in London watching WrestleMania. Honestly, I don't buy that one. I believe that he was because he knew about it, but I don't believe that he was randomly watching it. He was just surprised. Like, give me a break, Dana.
I thought the setup was cool. How Stephanie McMahon slaps The Rock and says, "Oh, are you gonna slap me back? You can't hit a woman, ha ha ha!" And then the Rock slinks out of the ring and walks over to the first row ringside, and who's sitting there other than Ronda Rousey? Which that part was really cool. But then once they got in the ring, there were like 5 straight minutes of just like close-up shots and no one talking and just them all staring, which from what I've heard, the reason that segment was so drawn out was they were trying to get it to nighttime because the next match was Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. And they wanted it to be nighttime and dark during the entrances, which makes a lot of sense. So they still failed doing that. It was still daytime during those entrances. But from what I've heard, the reason the whole segment felt so just drawn out and pointless and lots of staring and lots of just you had 45 seconds with just no audio, just a zoom in of The Rock's face, a zoom in of Ronda Rousey's face, and then she hip tosses Triple H, who sells it by getting tossed and then like rolling 3 more times out of the ring. It was not that believable, but I still enjoyed it as an MMA fan. Like, oh shit, Rowdy, she really likes WWE. Good for her, I guess.
Yeah, do you think it was a question that I posed on Twitter, to which absolutely nobody responded, but I'll ask you. Did Ronda put The Rock over, or did The Rock put her over? You know what I mean?
Ooh.
Like, who had more heat? Because I think she got the better pop in the end.
Ronda definitely had more pop. I think they sort of put each other over because it's pretty much widely accepted that this whole meeting was a setup to WrestleMania 32, where The Rock's going to take on Triple H and all that. I sound like the biggest wrestling nerd now, but Ronda definitely had a bigger pop because as Ronda walked into the ring, the entire crowd of 70,000 something people were chanting, "Ronda's gonna kill you." Ronda's gonna kill you. That was
I haven't seen
funny.
that yet.
Yeah.
Damn. Last thing about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But the stupid Wyatt guy, Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
Once again, they just humiliate this man at WrestleMania. He comes up with absolutely no answer for the person. Last year it was Cena, remember? He tried to get Cena to just beat the shit out of him with a chair.
Was that WrestleMania? Yeah, it was, I guess. Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was the whole thing. The whole year built up to that.
You're right. And
then
it's like,
year
will he hit him with a chair? Which is the stupidest thing. Like, that, what?
You're going to take an ass beating? That's your plan to beat John? Okay. And then, like, he gets his ass whooped by The Undertaker, who's actually in real life, 63 years old or something like that?
50. I think he's even 50. But I don't know. He did need a job, but at the same time, they're giving him matches against Cena and, more importantly, the fucking Undertaker. Like, I don't think you could give Taker another loss because that takes away from the whole Lesnar mystique, and it takes away from what's probably going to be his final match next year in Dallas at WrestleMania. Wyatt has a ton of heat whether he loses or not, and I think he's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, it was okay, but I expected more. They didn't even have Hogan, or Vince McMahon didn't even show his damn face, and they did screw up with the outdoor event in the middle of the daytime. The sun was literally in half the audience's face the entire time.
Of the 4-hour show, I don't think it got dark until 2.5, 3 hours in. It was for sure a different feel. I have a buddy who went actually and said he and probably 80% of the fans there got sunburnt like crazy because no one really thought to bring sunscreen to WrestleMania.
Yeah. Chill and FRB got cooked up too. Shout out to those guys. But yeah, man, that was a total mistake, and that does not show very well for the WWE, because how do you fuck up where the sun's gonna be on that day?
Yeah. I mean, it sucks for them because a thing I've learned living in the mountain time zone here in Denver is the whole country pretty much operates on the Eastern time zone. I mean, you have hockey games that start at 5 o'clock, and it's just everything's fucked up, man. It all goes down super early. So kind of trying to plan an event at an outdoor venue on the West Coast, the sun's going to be unavoidable. But, like, honestly, I didn't mind it because it's sort of, it gave it a very unique feel.
Well, I'll say this. I hope the UFC never does that.
Oh, I guess the closest they've done to it was
Abu Dhabi?
Yep, the Yaz Island one with I think Penn and Edgar was the main event. Yeah, and everyone was sweating their ass off. I know recently, too, they did an event in Brazil, which was indoors, but the AC was broken or something. And I think I remember John Anik or someone on Press Row tweeting, like, Jesus, it is literally 105 degrees in here. Like, it is a sweat box.
No,
Yeah. If I was a
outdoors,
fan, I would
daylight.
straight up leave. Yeah, fuck that.
No daylight UFC events. I'm saying it right now. If you know anybody who can who makes those decisions, just let them know. No daylight events ever for the UFC. All right,
You heard it here.
It's not broke.
You heard it here first on the MMA podcast. Any more topics on that before we move on?
I'm all good. Just wanted to know about WrestleMania.
Yo, I want to talk about, before we get into the World Series of Fighting, you were telling me about a story that I saw a headline of, and I didn't really look into it that deeper, I guess, because I was busy or something. Matt Hamill, he saved a baby. He was going to fight on this World Series of Fighting 19 card that we're about to break down, but he backed out at the last minute. I don't know if it was an illness or what. Teddy Holder stepped in, which we will talk about that fight in a second. But what exactly went down with Matt Hamill? You were explaining the video to me before we went live, and it was making me laugh my ass off.
Yeah, apparently Matt Hamill, who was severely injured with he pulled out of his fight a couple days ago because of a horrible sinus infection. Of course, he was shamed, ridiculed by the public, made to feel less than. So today, there's some story where he allegedly, he's claiming he rescued a mother and her baby from some vehicle. The mom passed out. She was drunk or something, just cruising and boozing with her baby, just minding her own business. And all of a sudden, Matt Hamill's following her. Anyway, but yeah, apparently these people came driving down the opposite direction on the highway. Like, they were going the wrong way in the highway. And they almost, Matt Hamill's like, what the hell? This ain't normal. You're not supposed to go the wrong way on the highway. So he decides he should turn his truck around and go the wrong way on the highway and chase after the person going the wrong way on the highway, thus creating two cars going the wrong way into oncoming traffic instead of one. What does Matt Hamill plan to do exactly? He does not explain. In the YouTube video released where he's standing on the side of the freeway, he's using sign language to tell his story for the entire length of the video. I mean, I could not understand his side of. I did not hear or comprehend his version of events due to. That's my own fault. All right, I need to learn ASL, American Sign Language. And then I need to go back and then watch Matt Hamill's rescue video again, and then maybe I can talk about what happened, what didn't happen. But it's apparent that Matt Hamill is a hero. There was an infant in the backseat of this woman's car. She was passed out drunk somehow. It's not really clear what happened. I think the woman just kind of stopped the car, pulled over or something. But yeah, Matt Hamill, dude, anybody that called him a coward for pulling out of his fight due to a sinus infection, guess what? He just saved a baby on the freeway. What did you do today? You sons of bitches. That's the word on the street.
That's right. You are a failure in Matt Hamill's eyes. You know who is not a failure? The guy who stepped in for him, Teddy Holder, facing Thiago Silva, who was a pretty big favorite, not astronomical, but I still think he was like minus 400. Coming back, making his first fight, his return after the whole ordeal with him apparently putting a gun in his wife's mouth and raiding the Pablo Popovich BJJ school. Teddy Holder, that's right. Teddy Holder, a guy you've never heard of, steps in and defeats Thiago Silva in 2 minutes. Obviously, this is not the same Thiago Silva we got to know in the UFC. Do you have any guesses on why the dude just didn't show up at all?
Well, I don't know, because a prison's supposed to make you harder. It's not supposed to make you soft. So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't want to speculate about this man. He's been through a lot. He paid his dues. He managed to quiet that wife before she got too loud again. You know what I'm saying? So I gotta respect that. But what's going on here with this fighting? I think he might be past his prime. That's not out of the question either. But the dude that defeated him, Teddy Holder, you can't be a fighter named Teddy, man. You can't.
You got what I need.
Yep. So it's all over for Teddy Holder. And but Thiago, man, he's still got a couple brawls left in him. But this is it. This is what it looks like when your dog turns 15, 16. All of a sudden they start having a little trouble more and more each day. It's a little harder for them to get up. The arthritis, old age, the decline. That's what it starts to look like. So sorry, Thiago, but keep on loving the cocoa. Keep training. Get those designer, get that designer shit. Don't take any risks. Stay away from the hoes. Give me a call sometime, bro. We'll party up again, man. I got the hook up. Holla.
Tony Montana don't like Colombians. I don't like fucking butane.
That's right. Thiago, he's only 32. The favorite fighter of our British friend DJ Jeans on Twitter. So I do hope he can come back. I'm assuming it was, man, we've seen him in and out of shape, but this looked like it was totally a mental thing. Like just seconds before Holder dropped Silva landed a strike that looked like it had him wobbly. And, man, I don't know. The guy's 32. I mean, he's 6'1". He could very easily, in my opinion, cut to middleweight. At middleweight in the World Series of Fighting, I think he would murder everybody. He is a black zillion. They have some amazing coaches there. But only time will tell what the next chapter is and what has been the crazy Thiago Silva story. Let's get to the main event. Justin Gaethje, Denver's own, even though he's from Arizona or something. I'll still claim him being from here. Dude, this was one of the fights of the year. It was a fucking barn burner. Ramses, I'm assuming you have not seen it, but it is worth going back and watching. Just a back and forth brawl. Gaethje won the first round. Palomino won the second round. Gaethje ends up winning it via TKO in the third round. But both of these guys just took a ton of damage. Both of them, the second round, I was for sure sweating because Gaethje, I try not to be too biased, but I really like him. And Palomino, that crazy motherfucker, was putting it on him in the second round. The third round, Gaethje rallies back, gets a TKO via leg kicks and punches 3 minutes and 57 seconds into the round. You have any thoughts on that fight or Gaethje? I mean, honestly, I think Justin Gaethje right now could come to the UFC and be a top 5 lightweight. And I really think the lightweight division in the UFC is the most stacked division in any organization anywhere. I mean, being the UFC lightweight champion is, man, that is a accolade to get. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I did see the fight the next day when I heard there's too much hype behind it or whatever. I think it was probably posted on Middle Easy or something, to tell you the truth. I don't know. But I saw the fight the next day, and yes, it was impressive. It was an awesome fight. It was crazy. It was good. I can understand why people loved it. But was it one of the best of all time or even of, the past year? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, because I I still remember. I'm not a fight to fight fan. I remember the battles and the wars, like because my favorite movies were like the Rocky. Because,
Shogun Hendo. Oh, I love that fight.
Exactly, like Grice
Bendo Cerrone
Bermudez.
won. Oh, yeah.
Bendo Cerrone won.
Bendo Cerrone won, the greatest MMA fight of all time in my cirrhosis buddy Chris's opinion.
Jesus.
I'm gonna start saying he has cirrhosis on air just to get him back for that fucking April Fool's joke. Speaking of April Fool's jokes, there's one joke that we both were tricked by, and I gotta give him a shout out. Yep. Our boy Gilbert Smith at Jamal Smith MMA, he got both of us saying he was gonna move down. I think I just lost you, Jake. You still there? Yeah. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello. You're coming back slowly.
I think it might be on your end. It looks like the mic is picking me up fine. But Jamal, he's pretty cut for welterweight, and the dude posts he's gonna cut to lightweight. I was like, dude, this is not gonna be a safe thing. Like, I love this fighter. He's been on the word on the street 3 or 4 times. He's outspoken, gregarious, funny, but this guy's gonna die if he tries to cut to 155.
Yeah, he got me, man. He was the other guy that got me, and I thought it was real up until a couple minutes ago. I just saw his Instagram post. But I do have to claim, and I do have to point out that it was kind of a dirty trick, because he started his April Fool's prank on April 31st.
He broke the rules. March 31st,
right. Yeah. Right. So the troll started the day before. And so it was kind of a cheat, man. I don't know. I can't feel bad about that one. I honestly just figured he was smoking rocks. I even started looking for help for him. Yeah, I'll tell him that in a sec. I gotta tweet that to him because I feel bad now.
It's like
but at the same
your
time,
Christmas lights up in fucking October. It's too early. It doesn't count. Come on, son.
Yeah, man, it was a dirty damn trick, but I feel bad for just figuring he was smoking crack, and I'm not even making that shit up. That's the word.
And then actually, like 3 or 4 hours ago, I was at the laundromat, and he posted this link, which I guess no matter who you are, if you click on the link, it brings you to your own Facebook. So he posts like, listen, there's one certain someone who keeps sending me nudes, and you just have to stop now, or else I'm gonna show the nudes to the whole world, and this is fucked up, and this and that. And most everyone who commented got the joke and understood that he posted a link that no matter who clicks it, it's gonna lead you back to your own page. But
there's always those people.
This one chick posted like, "No, you better not be posting this shit about me. I'm not doing shit." Like, she was really offended by it, and most of the comments were making fun of him. All right, do you follow him on Facebook?
I don't even know. I logged in earlier because like my parents said they sent me a message or some bullshit. So I gotta log in and just put up with which one of my stupid ex-girlfriends is having another stupid baby. Okay. And then my mom's just like, hey, check out this fucking video of this dog. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I follow him, but Gilbert, man.
He's Gilbert Smith Jr. on Facebook, and the comment was, there's a certain person that is known to many of us who keeps sending me naked photos of themselves. I've asked them nicely to stop, but they won't. So since they refuse to stop, I'm now forced to call them out publicly. You know who you are, and if you keep sending me inappropriate pictures, I'll be posting them for everyone to see. Since many of you may know them, maybe you can tell them to stop for me as well. The link to their page is... and it's a link that looks like it's a link to someone's profile, but it just leads you back to your own. And the first comment is, "You are such a fucking liar. I have reported you to Facebook." Someone didn't get the joke.
Man, it ain't right, man. All right, Gilbert Jamal Smith, people.
Power
the MMA
stroke.
fighter. Power stroke. Gilbert Jamal Smith, excuse me. The Ultimate Fighter. He is actually a prankster. You know what? There's still time. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get him tonight.
You have 42 minutes as far as mountain time goes.
No, because he broke the rules first, so I can April Fool's prank him tomorrow if I want.
So he gives himself March 31st. So you're giving yourself April 2nd.
Yep, I'm gonna get him. I'm just thinking about it right now. And guys, in case you didn't know this, the Aunt Jimmy Show, he is actually, that'll be in maybe next year. I'll tell you who I actually am and what I do. But Gilbert Jamal Smith, you got it coming for you.
That's the word on the street. We'll move past April Fool's jokes. We'll move past last weekend's MMA cards. I really want to talk about this UFC 189 World Championship Tour. Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor. Things really came to a head in the final date, Dublin, Ireland. Man, I don't want to say the champion is delusional, but he was making videos being like, oh, the Irish fans love me, and I'll be well received there, blah, blah, blah. Like, bro, who are you kidding? You're going to Dublin, Ireland, when you're taking on the most popular athlete, maybe, period, in Ireland. I will play the audio of Conor McGregor snatching the belt up from the champ. You can hear the champ cussing in Brazilian. You can hear Conor screaming, and you, most importantly, can hear the entire crowd losing their shit when Conor takes the belt from the champion.
Y'all looking at the king. Y'all looking at the king. Filha da puta. He did nothing. He did none. He did none. Welcome to Era. Welcome to Era. Era, this is my house country. Next time I see you again. Next time you see me again. Next time you see me again. Next time you see me again. Era.
Things getting pretty chippy between Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo. There's another video I'm looking up now, which I did not think to queue up before now, but it was just funny hearing the entire Dublin crowd just chanting and singing for the Irish champion. Here.
Question. No, wait a sec. Go ahead. This guy first.
Conor, man,
Yeah.
good to see you. You've got like 3,000 Irish lads here, red-blooded. Tell us. We want to know what Jose's pussy smells like. Jose! Hey, wait. Hello. Put me back on there. Jose, are you listening? Jose, keep that belt listening. McGregor's coming for you. He'll do you in two. Walking in McGregor, one on him.
Go ahead, kid. You're the last question.
And man, watching that insane Irish crowd, I was pretty proud to say I have some deep Irish American roots. What did you make of the crowd and the whole tour in general?
The crowds were great. That part you never have a problem with. All right, the fans. I hated them at first, but now I accept and love the drunken UFC Q&A fan. Like now they're my favorite. That's my shit right there.
Dude,
it's my
like,
go-to.
There were maybe, I think of all the media events they did, the 3 full press conferences that the UFC made public was Rio, New York City, and Dublin. And the one thing that all 3 had in common were all 3 were opened up to fan questions. And in every place, Rio, Dublin, or New York City, 90% of the fan questions were like, yeah, fuck you, Aldo's a pussy, Conor, you better fucking murder him, and then we're gonna get drunk, woo! Like, in Rio, there was an obvious bias toward the champ. In Dublin, there was an obvious bias toward Conor. But man, the UFC has got to do this more often, because the pressers were entertaining as shit, the backstage interviews entertaining as shit. All 10 episodes of UFC embedded following them around. It was just so fun to watch as a fan.
Yeah, it was totally cool. So the crowds were awesome. I got no problem with that. But like by the end of it, like Conor's trolling of Aldo and like McGregor's like behavior, it just became a little too exaggerated. It became too cartoonish. In fact, it was downright outlandish and preposterous. Word on the street.
I've seen preposterous. I've seen a lot of opinions on both sides. Folks saying, "Man, this series makes me hate Conor so much." On the flip side, the side that I'm in, this makes me love Conor, man. Like, this is what the UFC has been lacking since Chael left.
Oh, come on, man. Did you hear the last part of that audio that you played? Where Conor's just like over the top, like Joker from Batman the Animated Series. He's just like,
oh yeah, era.
Dude, that last era, whatever the hell that means. I speak Spanish. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
It is Ireland in Celtic. It is saying Ireland in their native tongue.
That's probably not even real. But yeah, if you listen to Conor's last era, if you can somehow replay that part is almost embarrassing. It's like I cringed. I got what are known as douche chills.
But two things. A, this is obviously getting under Jose Aldo's skin. He was fuming. He was so angry. And I think Conor set out to do 2 things with his shit talking. A, get under the champion's skin. B, sell tickets. And I don't think he could have done any better doing both of those things. I mean, am I saying he is as good a shit talker as Chael? No. I think Conor still has to put in the time. The best shit talker in the history of the sport is still Chael P. Sonnen. But who's number 2? That's Conor. Conor is doing an amazing job. Conor is filling a void of heel. Like, no one in the UFC wants to be a heel. No one fucking gets it. Everyone wants to be the guy, well, I just go in the gym and I train and I put my nose down and I train real hard and I'm not gonna talk crap about my opponent. I'm just gonna be the hardest worker out there, and by gosh, I just really want to get a victory. Fuck that. You're not going to sell any tickets doing that. You're going to sell tickets doing what Chael did, doing what Conor is doing. And I don't get why more fighters don't understand that concept. I have seen a lot of Chael fans give Conor shit just because I guess they're mad that Conor's doing what Chael used to do. I mean, dude, Chael isn't fighting anymore. Chael's done, and there needs to be a heel to step in his place. Conor's the perfect heel. Conor is soaking it up And even if he doesn't win, even if he loses, which I don't think he will, even if he loses, he will continue to be one of the biggest draws, just like Chael, because he entertains the shit out of people. He's such a great heel.
Look, man, right now you're speaking to... I'm a bigger fan of Chael Sonnen than his own mother is, and I'm telling you right now, this is where you're wrong, all right? Well, first off, Conor McGregor will never beat Chael Sonnen, will never even come close.
I never said he was. I said Chael's the best ever. What more do I need to say to you fucking Chael apologists?
Let me tell you
Jesus Christ.
And what I'm getting at here. The whole thing with Conor taking away Aldo's belt in front of him, that was too out of line, too disrespectful. All right, like that was unprofessional. Like that should not have happened. All right,
Aldo isn't going to be mad about it when he gets the paycheck after UFC 189. He isn't going to be calling it disrespectful then.
He was humiliated. He was jumping around after it like a little kid or like a dog. It was embarrassing.
How funny was it, Dana stiff-arming Aldo? Like, yeah, obviously, we all know Aldo could fuck up Dana, but Conor steals the belt from him, and then it's Dana keeping him off Conor. I would have been... dude, this is what I'm saying. He's getting under his skin so well. All this series of pressers has done is give Conor a better chance to win, because Aldo isn't going to be fighting smart. He's going to be fighting mad.
There was this one fan at the Q&A. One fan in Ireland actually tried to warn young Conor McGregor and told him, you should be more respectful to Aldo because this motherfucker will turn into an animal. And Conor just laughed it off, started making his stupid leprechaun jokes in his Bob Barker outfit, and looking like a golf club, country club hustler. But yeah, that fan had it right, man. I believe that Aldo, this shit talk, this world tour, like this is a guy that did his like laundry for the world tour in his own sink just to save water. And now he's going around touring, he's seeing this guy talking shit to him. This is all he knows now. Now he knows the whole world is laughing at him. You think some guy from the favela is going to put up with that shit? You think he's going to get scared walking out to the octagon? No. He's going to think, all right, I have to kill this motherfucker.
I never said he would be scared. I said he would
That's
get
what's gonna
mad.
happen.
He would get
Too
mad.
much disrespect. Too much disrespect, man.
Conor
Aldo
wants
doesn't
him to
respond
come
like
out
normal
mad. Aldo is going to come out steaming mad, and that's exactly what Conor McGregor wants. Conor is going to be fighting not mad. He's going to be fighting with a clear mind, and Aldo is going to be fighting like a pissed off banshee out of hell, like a fucking thug from the favela.
I think Aldo's going to TKO him. They might take it into the deep rounds, but Conor is going to it's going to be an ass beating, and now it's going to be a fight that I will pay for, just because.
Exactly.
I want Aldo to win now.
There you go. He's selling tickets. He's doing everything he needs
Conor
to do. He's coming for you. He'll do you into walking in McGregor's Wonderland. Let's move the fuck on. Speaking of Chael Sonnen, we just were talking about him. He did an AMA on Reddit, which Reddit sucks up. I will admit way too much of my own time. Reddit.com/r/MMA. If you don't know, now you know. RMMA is awesome, and Chael Sonnen did an AMA on the MMA subreddit, and I know it gets a little confusing when you're talking about MMA AMAs, but it's an Ask Me Anything, and that's when any fan on Reddit can ask him a question. Some of the highlights of the AMA, someone asked, do you think Anderson was juicing when he fought you? Chael's response, by today's standards, sure. More than I was? Doubtful. Another one, who do you see winning, McGregor or Aldo? Chael agrees with you, Ramses. This isn't a close fight. And then in quotes, he puts, and still. Chael, who is your favorite fighter of all time to watch and why? And he just put Frankie Edgar. I don't even think he needed to put an explanation. We all know why. Frankie put down my favorite fighter in pen, but I will admit he is one of the funnest fighters in sports to watch. The only real question that I want to ask, which had a lot of fans buzzing, he was asked 2 times in the AMA, who are you picking, Anthony Johnson or John Jones? Both times he says the fight is not going to happen. Trust me. That's a very strange thing to say when you're asked who's going to win and you say the fight isn't going to happen. Do you think Chael Sonnen is insinuating that Rumble Johnson's going to fail a drug test leading up to the fight?
I wouldn't read too much into it. Like Sonnen, like he has a history of, not doubting, but like he expects. His motto is, stay ready. So he always expects people to be pulling out of fucking fights left and right. So it's not that really far fetched that John Jones would do it. He's done it several times before. And Anthony Johnson, I'm actually not sure if he's ever. Well, I know he's pulled out of fights due to injury. I just don't know how much. So it's not like he may not like be revealing anything. It just might be, at this point, like it's not like it's a terrible bet. There's a good chance that this fight might break down and not happen. I mean, shit, how many events fall apart these days?
Yeah, but
has anybody even run that?
This is less than 2 months before the fight, which, to say with absolute confidence the fight isn't going to go down, it sounds like he knows something. It sounds like he's very, like, here, I'll find the quote. Someone said, will John Jones lose the Rumble? He said JJ/AJ won't happen. And then he actually said again in another one, just like, believe me, it's not going to happen. Man, this is more than just making a guess out of nowhere. He seems sold, and knowing Chael, he's got a lot of inside info. Man, I am really nervous. The guy might run his mouth, but rarely is he full of shit.
All right. Why is
just making a guess would be full of shit.
Okay, but all right. Let's say he is like in the know and he's got this. All right, the fight ain't gonna happen. Why then is everyone automatically assuming that it has something to do with Anthony Johnson when Mr. Jones is the one who's had the trouble lately? You know what I mean, with the drug tests. So why is everyone jumping to conclusions assuming Chael is even hinting at something he knows? Why is it AJ? Because in my experience and what I know...
Because Jones has 8 title fights under his belt.
Well, if I was going to guess who was going to fuck up an upcoming fight, I would put the money on Jones. I would put my chips in that direction.
This is the other one here. Hey, Chael, big fan. What do you think about Jones versus Johnson? And Chael's response, won't happen. Mark my words. Mark my words sounds a lot more like he has something up his sleeve. Is he Chael Stradamus? Only time will tell. But man, this other guy on Reddit, Serengeti1, posted a Cage Potato news article dated, when is this dated? 2014, and Rumble says he has nothing against PEDs as long as you don't kill nobody. So Rumble's saying he has no problem with PED users as long as they don't kill anyone. Sounds like, oh man, I really want to see this fight, but Chael really made me I guess the word is apprehensive about whether it's ever going to happen. I don't know.
Well, if it does not happen, I'm going to call it right now. You mark my words. It's 100% going to be due to Jonathan Dwight Jones. And that's the word on the street.
We will move on. Staying at 205, two men who have fought John Jones, Alexander Gustafsson and Glover Teixeira. They are going to fight each other. UFC Fight Night 69 in Berlin, June 20th. I'm sure Gustafsson will be a huge favorite. The two, like I said, have both fought Jones. One gave Jones the toughest fight of his career. The other one was handled easily by John Jones. I think most fans are going to be rooting for Gustafsson just because they want to see that monster that fought John Jones at UFC. I guess 165 was the event where they fought one another. Do you think Gus is going to win this fight? And if he does, how far is he away from getting that rematch against John Jones? I mean, yeah, Rumble did feed him his shit in a sack lunch. But at the same time, after Rumble, who do you put next? For sure not Cormier, who Jones just beat the shit out of in January, just a few months ago. Rashad Evans? I mean, Gus here with a win could maybe get his name back in the hat for a title shot late 2015, and I'm sure the UFC is salivating at that rematch.
I don't know what's going to happen to Gus, but I do stick by what I've been saying a few times now. The UFC will never, ever put the championship belt on Gus or allow him to win the championship belt, not Gustafsson. Not given his criminal record in the past, that would come to light immediately, and it would destroy him and, reflect very poorly on the UFC as a whole, damage credibility of the belt.
Rock should have pulled Gus out at WrestleMania to slap around Steph McMahon. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like if Gus's mistake is that he's not a hot bitch. So right there he fucked up. And well, of course, assaulting and beating and robbing men and women. That's also probably a mistake. But yeah, he's never going to get, he might get another title shot, but it'll be a total work, of course. I'm just saying they're never, ever going to belt him. Ever. I hope someone just plays that on a loop someday when he retires and I'm right. He is a faggot. It's never going to happen, and that's the word on the street. Word on the street.
That's right. I had to find the damn drop. A couple more fight announcements, then we'll break down UFC Fight Night Fairfax, then we'll get the hell out of here. Brandon Thatch and John Howard. Brandon Thatch coming back is his first loss to Bendo. I have Thatch in this fight. I guess is going to be July 11th in Las Vegas at UFC 189. Do you also think Thatch bounces back and gets a win against Doomsday, who has a very impressive win against Tough 17's very own Uriah Hall?
Thatch, man, look, everything in the past is the past. You do whatever you have to do. You hear me? Read between the lines. Do whatever you have to do to beat the hell out of Bendo for me. All right? You got to cut corners sometimes. We all do, man.
Out of Bendo? He already lost to Bendo. John Howard. He already lost to Bendo.
Doomsday?
Yeah.
What the
what? Bostonian.
Why are we talking about this?
He was going to fight Jordan Meehan, but just today it was announced that Brandon Thatch is going to fight John Howard next.
Doomsday, he's got this. Word on the street.
Word on the street.
That's all I got on it. I'm sorry.
It's all good. One more fight announcement.
Doomsday.
Frank Mir and Todd Duffy. It's a young guy. Yeah, he's got the Terminator physique, but is the skill set there taking on Frank Mir, who was looking like his career might be over. He lost 4 fights in a row to Dos Santos, Cormier, Barnett, and Overeem, but got back in the win column in a big way with a KO in the first round against Bigfoot Silva. I think Frank Mir wins this. Todd Duffy's good, but I just haven't seen enough out of Duffy yet to say he's anything more than green. He's just always looked green. always looked like the more imposing fighter, but rarely looked like he had the complete skill set it takes to beat a complete fighter like Frank Mir. And I have Frank Mir winning this one.
All right, a lot of people don't know this about Frank Mir, but well, they know he was in that horrible motorcycle accident that almost left him paralyzed. They almost had to amputate both legs. He broke multiple bones in his. I think he broke like his femur. He was horribly injured, disfigured. But a lot of people don't know that when his motorcycle collided, he was thrown from it. You know, he hit like concrete walls and barriers, but at the time, he was holding a 6-pack of beer. He had opened one allegedly and it exploded in his face due to the bumpy ride. Yeah, so like he was already driving around, you know, like not drunk or anything like that. I'm just saying allegedly. This all just, I heard this third hand from.
Look at my fucking eyes. Do I look high to you, guy?
Yeah, from an unnamed source. But when he flipped over, like at least 60 to 80 times, they estimate, and then he landed in a ditch. His body broken at different angles. Like this leg's going that way, the other leg's going this way. His neck's like, I don't know, what do you want me to do? As that was happening, he landed. He knew he was broken in half by God as his witness, but he still never, ever dropped that 6-pack of beer. He landed with it. And when he was waiting for the paramedics and the cops to show up, he allegedly kept drinking those beers. Because he's Frank Mir. And that's all you have to know when you're making your wagers.
What?
And that's the word on the street.
Frank Mir isn't going to drop his beers. And and I think we'll use that to move right along to our final topic, UFC Fight Night 63, Mendez versus Lamas. It's going to be April 4th in Fairfax, Virginia at the Patriot Center. We'll do like we usually do, break down the prelims as one big chunk and then fly through the main card fights. Prelims, actually, this for a fight night card. This is an impressive card. We have Gray Maynard and Liz Carmouche both on the prelims. Also making appearances on the main card, Juliana Pena, who has not fought since beating Jessica Riccozzi in 2013 for the women's bantamweight tough championship. Clay Guida, Dustin Poirier, Maynard, Carmouche, Poirier, Guida, and Pena and Chiesa all have one thing in common, and that they're pretty well-known names within the MMA circle, and they're all fighting bums, and they're all favored. Do you think they all win?
You know what? For the sake of brevity and not insulting anybody, I will say yes. I do believe they will all win.
Chiesa minus 370 against Mitch Clark. Juliana Pena minus 270 against Milena Dudiva. Clay Guida minus 250 against Robbie Peralta. Dustin Poirier minus 185 to Diego Ferreira. Liz Carmouche minus 115 to Lauren Murphy, which is the closest one of all of them. And actually, I will correct myself. The only underdog is Gray Maynard, who a lot of folks said should hang it up after getting brutally stopped in his last fight. I believe his last fight was that fight in 20. No. He had that Ross Pearson fight. Either way, you look at his last 5 fights, and he's been stopped 4 times. He was stopped by Frank Edgar, stopped by T.J. Grant, stopped by Nate Diaz, and stopped by Ross Pearson. His only win, a split decision win against Clay Guida. Do you think Gray gets back in the win column against someone who's definitely a drop-off in opponents from Diaz, Grant, Guida, Edgar, and Alexander Yakovlev?
Yeah, I'll say this. Gray Maynard, of course, is still one of my top 5 favorite fighters of all time.
Really?
Of all time.
I didn't know
Definitely. Yeah, the man, except, you know, the last couple of fights, it's obvious that Gray should have called it a couple years ago. But he is owed a tune-up fight. No, not yet. He's not at can status yet. He is owed this tune-up fight. He's taking his beatings. The UFC knows what they got to do. This will be a gift. It's going to be a layup for him. It's what he needs. But I just want to say briefly that as far as Clay Guida's match goes, I do hope that this is the last time we ever see Guida in the octagon. Nothing personal. I just don't like him, and that's the word on the street.
Nothing personal, just it's personal. Let's break down the main and co-main and get the fuck out of here. The co-main, Al Iaquinta and Jorge Masvidal. Jorge Masvidal is the favorite, but man, I gotta go with Rage and Al. Al is a very good fighter, and every one of his losses, whether it's to Mitch Clark, Michael Chiesa, in the Tough House to what's his name? Who did he lose to? I guess that was Chiesa in the finale. Yeah. So Chiesa and Clark both have the similarity of him just getting caught. And it wasn't because they outstruck him. It wasn't because they outgrappled him necessarily. He just got caught. And I don't see Masvidal being able to outstrike him. I also don't see him being able to catch Al. So I'm actually taking Rage and Al Iaquinta, fighter at Law MMA. And I'm taking him in this one at UFC Fairfax.
You know, I do, and this is not an April Fool's joke, I do have a son. His name is Ross Finkelstein. He lives in, like, I don't know, Queens or something like that. I don't even know.
Long Island, cocksucker.
Yeah, he's living in Jersey or whatever the hell. He's probably in a gang, but he's a big, like, for some reason, Al Iaquinta fan. So for that reason alone, I'm going to pick whoever's fighting against Al Iaquinta. So I'll take that guy. And I'm about to, as soon as this podcast is done, I'm going to call and book him, actually put $100 on it. And I'm hoping I can make some sort of arrangement for my son, Ross Finkelstein, to record himself watching the fight live so that when Iaquinta is defeated, I can see his live reaction. That's popular on YouTube these days, and that's the word on the street.
I got one question before we get to our final topic of the night in Mendez versus Lamas. Why would you want to see your own son in pain? Ross Finkelstein, he is a product of your loins, and you want to see him hurt? It doesn't make sense.
It would make sense after the first time you cut that damn child support check, and then you realized, oh shit, instead of lobster, I gotta eat shrimp ramen noodles this fucking month. All right, instead of getting that Porsche like I'm Brendan Schaub, and now I gotta drive around a Focus. I gotta download shit off of the Pirate Bay instead of getting like a Redbox card. You think I want this?
So I'm assuming things went south with Rose Finkelstein, your former lover, the baby mama.
I got a PlayStation the other night. It's the PlayStation 1. And it was like Christmas. I thought it was Christmas.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and take the mic because I can just tell by the tone of his voice, homie's about to break down in tears. So we'll move on to the main event, a featherweight fight between Chad Mendes and Ricardo Lamas, the number 1 and number 4 fighters in the division respectively. Man, everything Ricardo Lamas does, I think Chad Mendes does better. Wrestling, striking. Mendes has, since training with Dwayne Ludwig, you know, the guy was known as a wrestler, and then Ludwig came around, and this guy turned into a fucking machine. I still think eventually Chad Mendes will get that featherweight belt. He is an absolute monster. He is, in my opinion, I would say he is the second best featherweight ahead of Conor. I don't argue Conor getting a shot ahead of him because Chad's already gotten 2 shots. But, man, Chad Mendes is a motherfucker. You look at his record. The guy only loses to one person. He's 16-2, both of his losses to Jose Aldo. One of those losses, a controversial loss, UFC 142 back in January 2012. Yes, Aldo got the win, but he got it via spurious means. He grabbed the fence, turned himself around, kneed him. I think that Mendes has what it takes to beat anyone at 145. I think that Conor McGregor has a better chance beating Jose Aldo than he does Chad Mendes. Just because Chad Mendes stylistically is such a motherfucker to get past. I think Lamas might drag this out and make it a 25-minute fight. But if Mendes finishes, I wouldn't be shocked. I'm picking the finish. I'm picking a first-round KO finish by Chad Mendes. He has not gotten a KO or TKO knockout since 2013, almost 2 years ago. He's hungry, and he's going to get that finish this Saturday night in the main event in Fairfax.
Well, Jake, I do agree with you, man. Chad Mendes will knock this guy out like clean, but I don't know, round 1 or 2 for me. It might. I mean, shit, man. You got to go 5 rounds. You know, you're the main event. Like both fighters gonna. Sometimes they make a little bit of a gentleman's agreement to kind of, you know, when they get in there, they're like, man, I'm just going to feel it around. It's only the first round. We got 5 more to go. And they both kind of just agree due to like how heavy those punches are, like how serious they're coming at each other. You know, I think they're going to wait until the second round to start uncorking the ass beating. But Mendes is going to take this guy out easily. I think he's going to run through him. It's not even, he just has a better frame for hurting the other guy. Like those punches, like his power is 50% greater than Lamas's. Like that's it. May be exaggerating things, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, Chad Mendes all the way. I will actually be betting money on Chad
Bet a
Mendes.
prop here. Mendes by TKO/KO is plus 170, which is fucking insane when you think that Mendez's straight up odds are minus 440. So getting plus 170 on him, for real. People, if you are in Vegas, which of course we would never promote any sort of illicit activities, bet Mendes via the TKO or KO.
Yep, and I'm even a fan of Conrad McGillicuddy, but he's going to get knocked the hell out by Chad Money. Word on the street.
Word on the street. And unless you got anything else, I think that does it. Like always, we appreciate the shit out of the support. You following us on Twitter, you visiting the MMA Podcast.com. Dude, I say it almost every episode, but I'm so shocked when I get an email saying you have a comment on your YouTube video, and I'm like, oh no, it's someone saying like I'm a stupid faggot or this show fucking sucks. Yeah. And like I click it cringing because YouTube is the biggest cesspool there is as far as shit comments. And I look at all of them, and I probably shouldn't have said that. And I'll click it, and it's like, hey, cool show. And I'm like, oh, this guy isn't calling me a fuck ass. All right. But, yeah, whether you follow us, visit us, shout out to us, we really appreciate it. Speaking of shout outs, of course, Lenny Hart, the voice of Pride, the voice of the MMA podcast for the opener, along with Smoke Serpent, that song you hear in the background, that is Eddie Bravo and his band Smoke Serpent doing the song Jiu-Jitsu. Go on iTunes and buy the shit out of that song. Yeah, The Truth, who hasn't been on the show in ages. Ross Finkelstein, I don't know why I still shout him out, because they obviously hate us. Chris Lowe, who almost made me cry because I thought he was going to die. Our friend Davey Boy, Alan Hamilton. Me, Alan, and Yao are probably going to Vegas for UFC 187. Looking forward to that. Yao is literally betting his uncle $500 that Floyd Mayweather beats Manny Pacquiao. So if Floyd wins, yeah, right? So if Floyd wins, Yao is coming along on the fucking adventure. It's going to be me and Alan for sure. Maybe Yao, but if you will be in Vegas next month for UFC 187, give us a heads up. We will get a nice cold beer. Next week, we're going to cover that Crow Cop versus Gonzaga card. We will do next week's show next Wednesday, because I'm actually going to be in Chicago for 4 days. I get back to Denver Wednesday afternoon, so count on a Wednesday show next week. I've been running this shit out of my own mouth. Ramses, tell us about your show. Tell us about our friend, the Thug Jitsu Masters show.
Yes, I do want to give a shout out to my new friend, Mr. Brian, the All-American Stan, and, of course, one of my favorite fighters of all time, besides Gray Maynard and Chael Sonnen, the guy that gave me my first and only black belt in Thug Jitsu. He is the Thug Jitsu master and creator and founder of the whole entire fighting system, former UFC fighter, retired now, Yves Edwards. Him and Brian Stan are doing a great podcast. Check it out. They're still looking for a name, but just follow them on Twitter, suggest a name, listen to the first episode. I linked to it earlier. My Twitter is The Ant Jimmy Show. I know it doesn't make much logical sense and it's really confusing, but I mean, like, this is thug life. You think I give a fuck?
You think it's the word on the street? You think it's the Aunt Jimmy Show? Go fuck your mother.
That's right.
Cock.
That's right.
It's either blue cheese with wings or go fuck your mother. That's the next shirt, all right?
So thank you, Jake, and everybody. Follow me on Twitter at The Aunt Jimmy Show. It's been great. And just a quick shout out to my homies, Coach Jamie, the living legend, Huey, Front Row Brian, Kelvin Gastelum, Lexi Bear, Katie Bear, Lexi Bear's mom, AMS, Tyler Minton,
Fatal Tito,
Adam Hunter,
shout out.
Mayhem Miller,
Just Bleed MMA, the MMA enthusiast, Technics, Kevin Black, our fucking homie, our boy Bob the Butcher, who didn't call in tonight, but we expect to call eventually, cocksucker.
and the last one, shout out to our friend. He passed away. I'm sorry to hear about it. Our good friend Super Callow. Prayers, please, everybody. Donate. GoFundMe. Follow me on Twitter. I'll have all the links. Word on the street.
Word on the street. And like I've said, we'll never ask for a dime from you. All we ask, if you don't like the show, please don't go around telling all your friends that this show is terrible. I don't know why you listened an hour, 24 minutes in. But if you do like the show, we're never going to charge for it. We're never going to do any of that bullshit. All we're going to do is ask that you tell a friend, try and spread the word, get this as big as it can be. It's the MMA Podcast. We appreciate the shit out of you, and we'll see you next Wednesday for some more MMA breakdowns. Till then, we go.
Tune into the MMA Podcast every Tuesday night.
The wild style, always been a foul child. Realize, sucker, I be the coming like Noah.
The MMA Podcast, Jake is the host. And since Ramsey's been in the wheelchair, the Aunt Jimmy Show has been on a roll. I wanna say John Jones is a host, so I think that I'll pick up the phone and dial 213-457-3380. We got hot takes on the stove. You get blood on your clothes if you're sitting in the front row. I throw on my gi and then I lace the hoops. I'll have Yao lying down cause he ain't the truth. And if Alan wasn't a cop, I'd mention you. And shout out to Ross Finkelstein the Jew. Cause according to you, you're an MMA guru. Approved Bisbing lost his hands Count Dooku. If you're a fancy boy, you get a 2-minute slot. Mystery wants a title shot. So listen to the MMA Podcast. Throw a high kick, but I block that. Call me T-Ass, screaming George, where you at? I'm on the strap. But you know that I'll never tap. So listen to the MMA Podcast. Throw a high kick, but I block that. Call me T-Ass, screaming George, where you at? I want the strap. And you know that I won't tap. Mystery.
Shout out Don Enrique.
The MMA Podcast. Most of us just live and breathe this fighting shit. Shut up, Jake. Shut up, Jake.
That's me.